What is up, everyone? It's time to check in with the UT Martin Skyhawks again and get year 4 rolling on the Coach Carter College Hoops 2K Legacy Mode series. A quick disclaimer for the people who have been asking about their custom players. I know you guys are excited. So in the comments section below, I wrote down a list for your players and what teams they're on, and in the next episode, beginning conference play, I'll go through and show you guys every subscriber player, and you can see how you guys are doing so far. Season 4 has by far the hardest out-of-conference schedule that Coach Carter has put together so far in his UT Martin coaching tenure, and it begins with 2 power conference teams. First, the Tennessee Volunteers, then the Skyhawks travel to Columbus, Ohio for round 1 of the preseason tournament against the 14th ranked Illinois Fighting Illini. Some big news from the rotation. Coach Carter has recently announced a redshirt, and it might be somebody that you might not expect, but we'll get to that in a second. Taking a look at some of the first year players and some of the movers and changes from the rotation. First, we have Teron Garner with some very impressive stats. His low post offense really good, 89 defensive rebound. Those stats jump off the page at you. Of course, you have Jock Diggs, Pierre Hamilton, Gene Schofield, one of the many seniors on this team, along with Easley and Saunders. And having a big piece of the bench rotation, we got Davion Baez for the first time in his career. He's been around since year 1, and this is the first time that he's going to see some time in the rotation. With Blair Renfro graduating, we're going to need some more shooting off the bench, and Baez, we'll see if he's primed for the moment. And scrolling further down, somebody who's missing from the rotation is Evan Schneiderman. He's actually going to be receiving the red shirt along with Daniel Nava and Junior Galindo. With Schneiderman's transition to small forward, Coach Carter thinks it's a better move to ride with the senior Baez in the backup 3 position and let Schneiderman take a year to season his game. But looking at the Tennessee Volunteers, they may be a little down this year, entering the season unranked with a poor defense by SEC standards. But back in year 1, Tennessee was one of the first ever opponents for Coach Carter here at UTM, and it's safe to say that they were overwhelmed. They took the loss by nearly 30 points, but Coach, he's purposely put the Volunteers back on the schedule this year to gauge how much progress UTM has really made over his 4-year career. And taking a look at the last guy on Tennessee's bench, we have Devin Stone, a 6'4" freshman from Martin, Tennessee. And for those who have a good memory, you guys may, reflect on the fact that Coach Carter was very much interested in Stone over last offseason, but it didn't take long for him to commit to the Volunteers over UTM. So let's see if we can play a little spoiler and not only show Coach Carter just how much we've improved over these last 4 years, but maybe stick it to Stone a little bit, saying, hey, you should have tried to play with us Skyhawks when you had the chance, but now we're really going to show you what we're about. So, a pair of 7-footers, they meet at the timeline. Armando Hernandez versus Chris Fay, and Hernandez wins the tip as the Vols will have the first possession. Hernandez, one of the few players on Tennessee, a senior, who was actually on the year 1 matchup between these two clubs. Saunders drives baseline, and the assist goes to Fay, as Saunders, who else but Marcus, gets us on the board as he tries to win OVC Player of the Year. Here in his senior year, that's how high the bar is set. A quick response, however, the Tennessee Vols, they're very versatile on offense, and there's Desi Wofford, a guy who can beat you at all 3 levels, their top returning scorer, and Saunders sticks it right back to him. Check out the range by Marcus. I don't know if I've ever seen him hit a 3 that far out, and he's hit some bombs over his 4-year career. 8-7 game as Fay enters the post, kick around to Saunders, he'll jack one up again, a little long, but Fay flies in, grabs the rebound, puts it down over Julian Shepard, the point guard. Nobody checked out on Fay, and that left the 6'1" Shepard point guard to try to box him out. And Fay, coming off a season where he averaged 10 a game, he's already halfway to his season average a year ago, knotted up at 10 now. On this possession, Saunders receives a screen, and Armando Hernandez comes out just too far. Christopher Fay can slip behind him and put in yet another layup. Tennessee's forwards, they're not very athletic, and Christopher Fay's taking advantage. Already 7 points for the Senecal native. Coming off a screen now, here is Emmanuel Bullock, who knocks down a 3. Bullock, a senior, one of the many guys on this Tennessee team that can let it fly, and now here is Hernandez picking up the steal on Fay. That's not the guy who you want bringing up the ball, and maybe Tennessee starting to finally find some traction. Still their first game of the season, as now Blaine Fry is sent back by Hernandez, his 3rd block in the first 6 and some change minutes of this game. As some reserve players check in for both sides, including Sam Yost, who slips backdoor. A great find from Hernandez there, and Tennessee has their biggest lead of the night with 8 minutes left to go. Teron Gardner along with Hamilton, they check in, driving Hamilton off the mark, but Teron Gardner, he crashes against the 7-foot Hernandez, and Teron Gardner, a guy that we're very excited to have here at UTM for years to come, he scores his first college basket, and the defense inside, that rugged defense around the rim continues for UTM. Diggs to Hamilton, what a layup there. Hamilton and Diggs, the two guys who were first-year players last year, they found each other countless times for baskets and assists in bunches. High expectations for them returning this year as well. 22-19, Vols lead is now Elijah Danielson, the other 7-footer that Tennessee has outside of Hernandez. He has that in his game, but he misses a three, and there's a nice lead pass by Dwight Easley, as Teron Gardner continues to make positive play after positive play here in this first quarter. 2 free throws here and he can be up to 6 points total. And Gardner actually comes into his freshman season with a 74 free throw rating, not too shabby for a blue collar post such as himself. He knocks down 2 of 2 there. The entry pass is almost picked off, and then the steal on ball. Faye and Fry attacking Hernandez, he coughs it up and easily sets up Davion Baez, cold off the bench. He hits his first shot attempt of his senior year, and he's waited all 4 years to finally have a role in the rotation. And him, knowing a senior like Baez, who's been around since we started this series, he's not going to mess up this opportunity. UT Martin has the opportunity here to knock off their second straight SEC team in as many years, as now Easy pulls down a rebound off of a miss, and he drives the lane and puts it through. 8 unanswered for UTM, and just like Kentucky last season when we beat them, Tennessee starting to feel the pressure a little bit here. Going backdoor though is Sam Yost. He was found earlier for a backdoor cut layup, and now he returns the favor to Desi Wofford, the leading scorer for the Vols so far with 10. 26-24, UTM wants a parallel pick and roll with Saunders. Coach Carter loves going to this. Tough shot though, but Faye is there to clean it up, putting in that layup over 2 7-footers, Danielson and Hernandez. And Faye has been lighting up these Tennessee bigs. They have length, but they don't have athleticism or much skill, and he's been using his athleticism to take advantage. 30-24, Easley now feeds the post, wraps the pass around Danielson, and Faye scores again. How about this explosion from Faye? Already surpassing his point per game total a season ago with 11. He averaged 10.5 last year. Emmanuel Bullock though, good job knocking down that 3. He's second of the game. Luke Lawton with a little bit of a mistake, went under that screen, but still UT Martin with a 3-point advantage. For the second straight year in a row, they have the opportunity here to try to knock off an SEC team. And the biggest takeaways have been the team play. Despite Tennessee closing the gap a little bit, UT Martin still held tough, and they have 19 team assists, and 4 of those have come from Easley. His playmaking's been great, and the rebounding. Not often you see an Ohio Valley squad out-rebounding an SEC team, especially 15-9. Faye has 4 of those boards to go along with his 13 points on 6 of 8 shooting, and the Tennessee bigs, while tall, they're also soft and slow, and Faye's been using his skill to take advantage and win in the painted area. And just right when I say that, it looks like UTM's first offensive play will go through Faye. He posts up, trap comes, tries to dish to Fry, and Armando Hernandez sends back his 4th shot. Shepard on the move, but he tosses this one out of bounds, trying to lob only God knows who. A tough pass there to make from Shepard, as Tennessee continues to look a little out of sorts tonight, but Shepard makes up for it. They get the steal there, and outside of Faye, speaking of that block, it just doesn't seem like UTM's mustering much in the post outside of Chris Faye. Now a nice setup pass by Bullock. Wofford can't hit, but Bullock is there for the tip in. So Tennessee with a little bit more fight here, a little bit more urgency for sure here in the second half. Easy's got to step on his man, but blocked by Armando Hernandez, number 5, and this time the lob is connected on without a problem. What a pass from Shepard this time around, his 4th assist, and flying through the air, there is Desi Wofford for points 11 and 12. 39-36, Tennessee here on opening night looking a little out of sorts, as I said, but finally starting to make a push, but easily, a little give and go, a backdoor cut, and a tough finish from Dwight, starting off his senior year a little sluggish shooting the ball, but his playmaking's been great. Lawton now back to Saunders, and now he'll fire and hit. So Saunders with only 4 points in that first half of action, he's already more than doubled that. He's up to 10 now for the senior's first action here in his 4th year of his college career. 44-43, a screen across the key for Lawton, kicks it around to Saunders, inside the post, a power dribble that looks like an and one, or at least a goaltending, right? But no, the refs call basket interference. Wow, the refs going against UTM here. I thought that ball was already on its way down. I feel like Hernandez got a piece of that when that was already in the cylinder, but somehow, someway, the ref calls Faye for basket interference. A shot will not count, and a 4-point swing there as Yost sets up Bullock for another shot. Now he's up to 15. Saunders gets a step on Shepard, who went for the pass. Big mistake there. In rhythm, Saunders up to a baker's dozen. How about 9 quick points for the senior? Bullock tries to drive on Fry. He stands his ground and then gets the big rebound over Bullock. Fry with his 4th board. Saunders, he did it on the left, now on the right. How about 3-pointer number 4 for Saunders? And now we're seeing UTM go a little bit more up-tempo here in the second half. More defensive pressure on Faye. He only has 1 basket so far in the second half, meaning more openings for guys like Saunders. But here comes Bullock. He's having a huge second half after only having 6 in the first. Now the Skyhawks 5 on the floor. It's easily plus 4 bench players, including Davion Baez on. That is Bullock hitting once again, and that is not the most ideal matchup in Coach Carter's head. 55-56, UTM trailing. Saunders receiving a screen. Now it's Danielson recording a block, but Teron Gardner does not give up on the play. He tips it away. Saunders corrals it inside to Gardner after that pass is tipped. A crazy sequence there, but Gardner, a strong finish inside. A great start to his college career. 9 points for him. But a quick response is Elijah Danielson. 58-57, Vols up with less than 5 to play. Pierre Hamilton still on the floor, gives it to Faye, kick around, Saunders, oh no, is he gonna do it again? Rattles in another one, 19 for Saunders. You saw more defensive pressure there from Faye as he drove, meaning that Saunders and these other perimeter shooters for UTM, they have been a lot more in touch with the offensive flow. Blaine Fry gives it to Saunders, a little baby J now, that's good from 14 feet out. Saunders up to 21, he's been all as advertised coming into this year. Julian Shepard, now Wofford, here we go, no good there, but Hernandez tries to scoop it up, and take a look at that defensive stand. The post defense in the paint has been on point for UTM so far here on opening night against this SEC school. Now a backdoor cut. Lawton receives it, puts it in. Easley has had a plethora of highlight reel assists, and then this one I think tops it all. How about Easley finishing tonight with 7 dimes? 64-62 minutes left to go as Wofford drives, kicks. That is Sam Yost from the top of the key, no good, and then a swat by Blaine Fry. That one's sent back as well. Wow, Blaine Fry. And these Skyhawks locking down here down the stretch, but so is the Vols, as UTM with a little bit of offensive adversity as Saunders tries it, dishes off to Faye. What a smart play. Their first basket in a little while. Both teams really stepping up on defense down the stretch, and Blaine Fry, he hits it thanks to the nice dime by Saunders. But how about this baby J from Elijah Danielson? That'll cut the lead down to 4 with a minute and some change left to go, as Saunders, he takes it quick the other way, slowing it up to Easley a little bit. Hand off to Fry. Now he wants to take it with some conviction. Wow, shot out of a cannon. Another dime for Dwight Easley. He's 1 away from his career high with 7. 52 seconds left to go, and UTM is up by 6. Only a few seconds left between another upset win, but Bullock is going to have something to say about that. How about 26 for him? And now that one's knocked away. Hernandez down the lane, but Easley, who turned it over, does not put his head down. He stays with it and knocks it away from Armando Hernandez. What a colossal defensive play. But with a 6-second difference of the shot clock and game clock, this game is not over as Faye almost turns it over. 5 seconds left. A stop here by Tennessee, and they have the chance to tie it. 2 seconds left. Faye in the post did not get it off in time. A dead ball turnover is the last thing that UTM needed here. Tennessee can inbound it cleanly with 6.7 left to go. Here comes Julian Shepard rushing the ball up. Wofford gives it back to Shepard from 40 feet. It rims out. Oh my goodness. What a finish to this game. Shepard just off the mark to send it to an extra period of play, and UTM once again scrapes by another power conference opponent. 68-65, UTM has done the unthinkable once again, and we have come leaps and bounds since year 1, and this win just solidifies that. Nothing but respect from these Vols shaking hands with us after the game. What a game to kick off year 4. 21 from Saunders, and easily 1 assist away from his career high with 7 tonight. He was doing so much playmaking. A real big reason why Faye and Saunders had great nights. And Faye only had 1 basket in the second half, but he was very unselfish, and he continued to play lockdown defense in the post as Tennessee only finished with 18 points in the paint. Now we take a look at the top 25. Definitely pause the video and see if your favorite team's on here. But we come to the screen just to talk about our next opponent, number 14 in the nation, the Illinois Fighting Illini. So, this game further cements the trend of our toughest out-of-conference schedule of the series coming here in year 4. But thank goodness we don't have to battle Kofi Coburn, at least in this series. That dude's a stud. But we do have to battle guys like 3-and-D specialist Delvin Good and the returning leading scorer Jordan Lewinsky. The biggest difference between Illinois and Tennessee appears to be their pace and level of IQ. Illinois plays a lot safer with the ball than Tennessee, and they don't force turnovers. Their 2 starting guards, Dexter Webb and Leon Vargas, for example, they're very smart guards. They averaged only 3 turnovers put together last season, a very impressive feat to pull off in the Big Ten. So, speaking of the Big Ten, let's head down to Columbus, Ohio to begin our preseason tournament held by Illinois, one of their biggest rivals in the Big Ten, the Ohio State Buckeyes, and Saunders, the man of the hour last game with 5 threes hit in the second half against Tennessee, picking up right where he left off, knotting things up at 3 here early. And another difference between Illinois and Tennessee, we're going to see a lot more zone today. And with the way UT Martin ended things last year, just seeing so much zone in the conference, they've got that offense down pat. Luke Lawton hits one, and then he lets Delvin Good hit one right back in his face. Knotted up at 10, seeing a lot more offense here early on compared to the Tennessee game. Knotted up at 14, easily feeds the post into Faye, coming off one of his best career performances, dishing it around to Saunders, catching and firing, and then absorbing the contact from Leon Vargas, and one of Illinois' starters already in foul trouble. He checks out, and Saunders has the chance to put in a 3-point play the old-fashioned way, and he does. So Saunders, he will also check out of the ball game for Jacques Diggs as Pierre Hamilton, Davion Baez, and the rest of the second unit come in. Speaking of Baez, how about him putting the ball on the floor, beating his man off the dribble, and then setting up Schofield for a basket. 24-22, a pretty good run by the bench, as once again, UT Martin finds himself up against a top opponent, but there's Brennan Goff, a 3-point weapon off the bench for the Illini. He puts the Illini back up in front, but putting on a strong front has been UTM here in the post once again. Diggs running the floor, handoff to Blaine Fry. Nice pass by Jacques Diggs. We all know how much he loves going in the full court and making plays. The starters come back in with the exception of Teron Gardner, and now easily drives off a nice screen from Blaine Fry, slashing up that zone defense. 28-27. We're nearing the end of the first half, and UTM has another lead, but Jordan Lewinsky, one of the main guys for Illinois, like we expected, 11 points for the senior. 29-28, Illinois, with less than a minute to go operating on offense. Delvin Good drives, gives it around to Brock Buchanan, then a kick out to Rashad Nichols. Another 3-point weapon off the bench for the Illini. Now he makes his way into the stat sheet. But at the end of the day though, still another marquee team is having some struggles with UTM. As the Skyhawks are only down 4 to the 14th ranked team in the country, and it's been really interesting just how UT Martin has been playing these power programs. We've known the Skyhawks as a run and gun team these last few seasons, but they've looked a lot more mature, I guess you could say, these last 2 games. They've been prioritizing rebound over the fast break, only down 3 on the boards compared to Illinois, and another elite defensive showing. 3 team blocks and 3 team steals. Their team play has been excellent again. Saunders leads the way with 6 for UTM, as 6 players for the Skyhawks have scored at least 4 points. But on the other side of things, Jordan Lewinsky, he's been up to snuff, 11 points for the senior. And Illinois, they started to pull away here as they got their other guys more involved, and there's Delvin Good making a 3. 41-32 now, Illinois with their biggest lead of the game until Saunders steps up. A great dish from Easley. He drew that top man in the zone to leave Saunders wide open, and he's got 11. 48-37 as Easley tries to drive, continues his tough day, and he tries to put it back up again after saying resilience, but he's not rewarded. McBride with the rebound, outlet pass to Vargas, who gives a nice dish of his own to Delvin Good. So Illinois, their lead up to 11. Maybe this Cinderella story here in the early season for UTM falling a little bit short as Diggs is found wide open but still can't hit. as Hamilton and Diggs has been a little bit of a mystery, but they've been struggling to begin this season. And now Josh Okoye goes one-on-one against Hamilton, and Okoye puts it down. He makes the free throw. Illinois is up by 15 at that point. Now it's 20 as Saunders and the starters check back in. A little too late to make a comeback, but how about that crafty layup over 3 defenders? But quick back the other way, somebody I haven't talked about enough today has been Brock Buchanan. He has had all of his points here in the second half, up to 15. And just like Kofi Coburn in real life, he is a tough 7-footer to deal with. Brock Buchanan, 15 points. Jacques Diggs finally with his first field goal of the season. 3 points for Diggs. He made a free throw earlier, but like I said, him and Hamilton have just had tough starts to their second years here at UTM, and a 20-point loss would remain on the scoreboard as the clock would hit 0. And UTM, they've had a history of hanging with these power programs, obviously, as we've seen, but this is a humbling game. Just putting things back into perspective, just how much of a talent disparity there is between the Big Ten and, say, the Ohio Valley. So looking at the rest of the bracket here in our NIT tip-off, Illinois of course wins the tournament, and then we face Ivy League Brown in the consolation game, and thanks to Marcus Saunders, 36 points, 4 away from his career high, we take this game in a shootout, 87-82, as Tyler Underwood for Brown, he put up a 30-piece of his own. How about that? But Saunders still gets it done, and his average point per game average is up in the high 20s to begin this season. Like I said, Saunders, everything is advertised, 24 points a game for the senior. For the first time this season, the Skyhawks head back home, and also for the first time this year, they're hosting an opponent at their skill level. The 1-4 Belmont Bruins are out-of-conference rivals for this entire series. They make the 3-hour bus trip from Memphis over to our campus, and there always seems to be fun involved when taking on the Bruins. This game makes it 4 straight seasons we've gone to battle against Belmont. We lead the series 2-1, the first ever win for Coach Carter in his career came off a buzzer-beating 3-pointer from David Giles back in the Year 1 matchup. Year 2 was a game-sealing steal and layup from Dwight Easy to help us win by a single point, but last season Belmont blew us out. So we're trying to win 3 out of 4 against the Bruins, as we're looking for revenge for that embarrassing loss in Year 3, and for the first time this season, we're taking the floor in our beloved Skyhawk Arena. Alright, taking on Belmont again. Let's see if we can win 3 out of 4 against the Bruins, our heated rivals in this series out of conference. And the tip-off is won by Christopher Fay over the freshman Grant Gabbard, the first-year starter for Belmont, the big fella. And getting things underway, we see Easley at the controls. He's had his fair share of struggles in the first 2 games of his senior year, but he kicks us off, making his first attempt from the field. Belmont, despite starting that freshman Gabbard at center, this might be the most experienced team we've seen from Belmont over the 4 matchups. Now Fay in the post, working on Lattimore, the mismatch, he takes advantage. There is a post hook over his left shoulder, and Fay struggled a little bit last game. He looks to get back on track as well, as Fry, he pokes it loose on the press, does some good work there on defense, and Lawton has had plenty of good showings here on offense so far this season. 6-2 game as Belmont, they work it around to Vance Price, a 3-point threat, a little short, but Kai Drayton, one of 3 senior starters for Belmont as he records the 3-point play. Drayton, the stocky 6'6" guard, he is a native of Toronto, Ontario, one of 3 senior starters on this team who all appeared in the first ever matchup between these 2 teams back in Year 1. It's Drayton, Bryce Covington the point guard, and Christian Lattimore the slashing wing. 6-5 game as now Saunders with the equalizer in the face of double coverage, and Saunders, who's been completely lights out from beyond the arc, he continues. But speaking of the slasher Lattimore, there he is with the quick response as he's on the board now. As the Evansville, Illinois native, he averages 6 on the year here in his senior year. Now Easy with the mismatch, he takes it on the Belmont defense. He got past George Mayowa, and he tried to recover, but it was just too late as Easley, with a quick 4 points, make that 5 after he sinks this free throw. He's had some struggles to begin his senior year, but maybe he can get back into the scoring ways that we all know against an easier opponent. 4 seconds left to shoot on this possession. Great defensive stand from Belmont. Saunders can't make it in double coverage this time, but Fry with some good work on the boards. We've seen that time and time again this season from him. And now Lawton on the second chance. Fry with a great kick out, and Lawton hits it a step in front of the 3-point arc. And Lawton, I haven't even shown all the jump shots he's hit this season, continuing to add to his offensive arsenal as he hit 2 threes in the Illinois game. 16-12 as Teron Garner checks in. grabbing yet another rebound here in his freshman year as Diggs running the floor, bounce pass to Gardner, but his welcome to the college ball level moment right there as Grant Gabbert, the freshman, sends him back. And how about Lattimore? Good playmaking there by Vance Price, and Christian Lattimore has his second basket, knotted up at 17s now. Belmont definitely one of the faster paced teams that we've played over the last 4 years, and that's reigning true tonight as Saunders, he takes it baseline with Vance Price draped all over him, but that does not matter for Saunders, up to 10 already. Another quick start for him as there's 4 bench players on the floor as Davion Bias thinks about it, then pulls it, and he knocks it down. One of the questions that we had coming into the year was who was going to be the replacement for Blair Renfro, but Davion Bias, he's showing he's primed for the moment. He's been a diamond in the rough, but Vance Price with the response. The sophomore with his second made 3 ball, as he's got a very nice touch from beyond the arc. 24-24 now with 5 and some change left to go. There's Reed Johnson, the 6th man, the junior from Peoria, Illinois. He's got one now pocketed. 27-24 from the same spot, a little short this time. And with 4:35 left to go in the first half, easily the lone starter left on the court, so he'll take things into his own hands. And one for Dwight Easley, his second of the contest. This one coming at the expense of Bryce Covington. A beautiful move going left to right, finishing with the strong hand. And with Marcus Saunders struggling a little bit here down the stretch, Easley's been so important as Saunders has missed his last 4 shots. So Lattimore with the huge rebound, 32-31 Belmont with the advantage and the ball. 1:20 left to go. Nice backdoor for Kai Drayton and an even better pass by Bryce Covington. And Faye with his second personal foul. He's definitely cooled off since his tear against Tennessee, as he's going to have to check out for the rest of the quarter in favor of Teron Gardner, as Kai Drayton, who's been one of the main problems for UTM's defense, he'll go to the line. But speaking of defense, there comes Blaine Fry displaying some defense on his own accord. And Saunders, there we are. He struggled a little bit down the stretch. He had a quick 11 points, but he's missed his last 4 field goals like I said. But this is a better look definitely as he goes to the line trying to get some better looks. And UTM right now with their offense kind of sputtering a little bit here down the stretch. They have actually drawn 18 fouls on Belmont, working into the bonus, and their work from the charity stripe has kept them around. And maybe Belmont's fast-paced attack that we've seen these last 4 years, maybe that caught UTM a little bit off guard as they find themselves down 2. You know, because UTM, they were playing Tennessee and Illinois very much so in the half court, not as much run and gun, but now they're trying to adjust and get back to what they know best. Saunders had some struggles. He started this game 3 of 4, but now he's 4 of 9 for 13 points. Easley also has double figures, and that was really important to keep us around. Now he's working with 2 fouls, and Blaine Fry continues to play great defense, collecting rebound number 5 as Jacques Diggs actually on the floor in favor of Dwight Easley. Running some point is Jacques Diggs trying to get over his early season rut, knotting things back up at 34 apiece. And now Lawton. This defense is starting to become a little bit contagious as Diggs, he's got another opportunity to run the floor, and that's what he does. Scoring over the 6'6" Christian Lattimore, giving up 7 inches of height. Jacques Diggs doesn't care. But it's great to see some fights from either Diggs or Hamilton, because after their stellar seasons off the bench last year, they have really had some question marks surrounding them this year, as Diggs will tackle on the and one. Pierre Hamilton only shooting 31% in these first 3 games, and Diggs 28%, so they need to start turning it around soon as Fry collects rebound number 6, and now Saunders will put in an and one of his own. UTM continuing to get to the free throw line, and now some and ones while they're at it. Saunders, you know, he had that rut there to end the first half, put some better looks, not relying as much on the 3 ball. I feel like that's really helping him out here. So now UTM up by 6 all of a sudden. Kai Drayton tries to pull it. Now he started to cool off as well, as Fry collects yet another rebound. And Saunders, though, this one he's a little bit out of control on. A rare turnover there from Saunders as Drayton leads the break, and Bryce Covington now puts in a layup. Assist number 2 from Drayton, and Covington has points 5 and 6. Now Lattimore rides the baseline. He responds with an and one. There was an 8-0 run there by UT Martin, and now Belmont storms back for an 8-0 run of their own after this free throw from the slashing 6'6" Lattimore, and Vance Price now works it around. Great skip pass. The playmaking has been great for all Belmont players. It's just so tough to stop them because they love to share the ball. They've done this all 4 years. We played them, and now Johnson's open. We catch a break though. And how about Blaine Fry controlling the interior? Rebound number 9 for him now. UTM back facing a deficit, some zone for Belmont, and we know how to exploit that. The skip pass to Dwight Easley, by far his best offensive showing so far. 15 for Easley, and now he's got 3-ball number 3. 50-48 UTM back in the driver's seat as they return all starters to the floor with 6:22 left to go. Covington at the controls. He'll pull it right in the face of Easley. Wow. Covington up to 8 points. What a shot from the senior. Belmont takes the lead, but then a layup from Easley takes it right back. Faye now in the post against the zone. He's getting trapped. These teams starting to find out that he's quite the weapon. Saunders with plenty of time to fire. No good. But Fry with rebound number 10. Offensive rebound number 4 for the sophomore. He's done some great work on the boards, and now he's in the points column as well. 2 points, 10 rebounds for Fry up to this point. Can't think of a more Blaine Fry stat line than that. Now Saunders in the face of some defensive pressure. No good, but now Faye doing some work on the glass himself. 7 points for Chris Faye, and him and Fry have combined for 16 rebounds to this point. Still not mustering much room as Saunders here on offense here in the second half, so Easley will take things into his own hands, fires a heat check, and he will knock it down. Whoa! Easy from 35 feet, catching fire is the senior from Independence, Missouri. 6-point lead, the biggest lead for the Skyhawks here in the second half. Looking for one more basket to cement this win, but Faye has it taken away, and he is down. Slow to get up is Chris Faye, and it's taken right back by Luke Lawton. And guess who's down there? Chris Faye, touchdown. Skyhawks, courtesy of Luke Lawton to Chris Faye. The first 2 recruits ever in Coach Carter's tenure here, and they connect for a huge basket. What a sequence there as Faye gets his revenge for the no call there. 71-61. What a way to end this game. A crazy finish, as there always seems to be something crazy that happens every time we face off against Belmont. And taking a look at the stat sheet, we see everybody just did their part. 20 apiece for Easley and Saunders. Blaine Fry with a career high 14 rebounds. Chris Faye did his part on both sides of the basketball. And it's still a little weird that Pierre Hamilton and Jacques Diggs are both still struggling, but there's still a lot of basketball left to be played this season. We'll see if they can turn it around in the upcoming weeks. But that is how we're going to wrap up this installment of the Coach Carter College Hoops 2K Legacy Mode series here on the channel. Very happy you guys were able to stop by. As looking to next time, we're going to take on Loyola Marymount there Monday the 29th. We're going to send that Detroit game at the top and then hop into 2 out of our first 4 conference games here at the bottom, as I'll also be showing you guys your players and how they look. Got a lot of requests for certain players to be added to the series, which I love to see. I love to engage you guys and add you guys to the series. It's been a lot of fun. So next time we're going to open up conference play and simultaneously show you guys what players I added. I added all you guys. All the requests I got were added, and I'm going to show you guys what teams you guys are on, and taking a look at your rosters to see if you guys can maybe have a shot at the OVC title and compete with UT Martin. So thanks for joining me today. This is College Sports Survived signing out. Stay tuned, everybody. I'm very excited for the next episode coming soon.